Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Only in this house of healing can you find remedies to cleanse your heart of malicious and cruel enemies, of whom it is written, "A man's enemies are the men of his own house." Please continue watching to find out more.
Vitiama, Syrian viewers. Vitiama translates as welcome in Ukrainian. I am Polina. The affectionate people of Ukraine commend your kind and gentle nature. May we aspire toward such benevolence for all beings in heaven's compassion and grace. Grigore Scavarada was an 18th century philosopher, poet, and composer of religious music. A number of his writings can be found in his songs, several of which have been adapted to Ukrainian folk music. Scavarada's work contributed to the culture of both Russia and Ukraine. He has been called Socrates, both as a moralist and one whose Socratic style is intended to stimulate thought and self-introspection. At the same time, Scavarada's writings are imaginative, witty, and dramatic, with themes that highlight happiness and appreciation of life. Scavarada did not seek to have his work published while he was still alive. He was more concerned with living in a manner true to the moral values upheld in his writings. 3 days prior to his death, Scavarada went to stay with one of his closest friends. Each day he left the house, and it was discovered that he was digging his own burial place beneath a tree. On the 3rd day, he announced that his time had come, and he simply lay down and passed away. At his request, his epitaph said, "The world tried to capture me, but didn't succeed." In recognition of his works and numerous contributions, Grigore Scavarada's portrait was printed on the second largest banknote in circulation in Ukraine, the 500 hryvnia note. We now share with you excerpts from his writings in a conversation among 5 travelers concerning life's true happiness. The supreme divine nature, the beginningless beginning. I humbly beg you to listen to this fable. 5 travelers, guided by their guardian angel, came to the kingdom of peace and love. Melchizedek, the king of this land, was in no way like other kings. There was nothing perishable in his kingdom. Everything was eternal and pleasant down to the last hair, and his laws were wholly opposed to tyranny. A beautiful and shining arch marked the boundary of this blessed land, and on it was written, "The primordial world." Everything that the Holy Writ says about the promised land applied to this world. All things round it seemed and were plunged in darkness. As soon as the newcomers reached the shining arch, a great multitude of the immortal inhabitants went forth to greet them. They divested the newcomers of everything that was old, clothing as well as the body that came off like a garment, and dressed them in a new body and clothing embroidered in gold with these words, "Get a firmer grasp of yourself." Suddenly, harmonious music was heard. A choir sang, "Be ye lifted up, ye everlasting doors." The gates were lifted, and the guests were conducted to those cloistered chambers of which David sang. How amiable are thy tabernacles! The choir sang in superb harmony. How goodly are thy tents, O Jacob, and thy tabernacles, O Israel, for they were built by God, not man. The travelers sat down to an immortal meal, and everything needful for a feast, of which it is written, Blessed is he who has dined. However, the guests were not merry during all this merrymaking. Some secret sorrow gnawed at the hearts. Have no fear, dear guests, said the blessed citizens. This happens to all newcomers. In them the divine saying has to be fulfilled. 6 times shalt thou be rid of thy sorrows, and the 7th time this evil will not touch thee. Then they were led to the king himself. I know your complaint before you make your petition, said the King of Peace. In my realm there is neither sickness nor sorrow nor lamentation. You yourselves have brought this sorrow with you from the alien, hidden lands which are hostile to my land. Then he commanded his angels to take them away to the house of healing. There they took a meetex for 6 days. On the 7th day they were fully cured of their ills. Instead of sorrow, there was written on one heart, Thy will be done. On another, Righteous art thou, O Lord, and upright thy judgments. On the 3rd, Abraham believed in the Lord. On the 4th, I will praise thee forever. On the 5th, in everything give thanks. Meanwhile, the universal assembly sang this song by Isaiah, clapping its hands in harmony in joy unspeakable. And the Lord shall guide thee continually, and thou shalt eat to thy soul's content. And thy bones shall grow fat, and shall be like a watered garden, and like a spring of water, whose waters fail not. And thy bones shall grow like grass and become rich, and generation shall follow generation. All the inhabitants, to the last one, sang this song so sweetly and loudly that even my heart's ear in this world could hear it. The King's House of Healing is the most holy Bible. There you will find an apothecary and a heavenly hospital staffed by angels. To this hospital chamber the compassionate Samaritan brought the unfortunate traveler to Jericho. Only in this house of healing can you find remedies to cleanse your heart of malicious and cruel enemies, of whom it is written, A man's enemies are the men of his own house. Your enemies are your own opinions, which have established their reign in your heart, constantly tormenting it. They murmur against God, slander and oppose Him, continually disparage the order that governs the world and attempt to restore the most ancient laws. In darkness they eternally torment themselves and those who agree with them, because they see that the governance of nature does not follow the demonic desires or the confused ideas, but continues religiously according to the counsels of our Father, yesterday, today, and forever. Those without understanding dispraise the disposition of the heavenly orbits, criticize the quality of the earth, find fault with the creations of God's wise right hand in animals, trees, mountains, rivers, and grasses. Nothing satisfies them. According to the absurd and gloomy view, there is no need in the world for night, winter, old age, labor, hunger, thirst, disease, or most of all, death. What purpose does it serve? Ah, our poor small knowledge, our tiny concerts. I think that we would govern the world machine, no worse than a son brought up in lawlessness would govern his father's house. Whence did these demons come to settle in our hearts? Are they not legion in us? But we ourselves have brought this primordial darkness with us. We were born with it. An illiterate man named Marco, according to the fable, went to heaven. Saint Peter came out with his keys and, opening the heavenly gates, asked, "Have you studied sacred languages?" "Not one," answered the simple man. "Did you go to divinity school?" "Never, Holy Father." "Have you read the works of the ancient theologians?" "I have not read them." "I don't know an A when I see it." "Then who has set you upon the path of peace?" "Three little rules have done it." "Which rules are those?" "They are: 1. Everything that is prescribed also for holy man is good. 2. Whatever wicked man also obtains of small account. 3. Do not wish for another what you do not want for yourself. The first and second are homegrown rules. I taught them of myself. The third is a law of the apostles, given for men of all tongues. The first rule has brought me the forbearance and gratitude of Job. The second has freed me from all worldly lusts. The third has reconciled me with my inner Lord. The apostle, his face as bright as the sun, glanced at him and exclaimed, "Oh, blessed and grateful soul, enter the dwelling of your heavenly Father and rejoice eternally. You have eaten little, but are well fed." Understanding is not generated by books, but books by understanding. He who has purified his reason with clear thinking about the truth is like the zealous householder who digs a well of pure and living water in his house, as it is written, "Counsel in the heart of man is like deep water."